Hello.
Hello.
Let
me get my water.
Okay. Well, welcome to another
Film Critters.
Processes. We're recording a lot of stuff.
We really are.
Few days.
Yeah, we have a lot in the pipeline.
We got a lot of pipeline. We just did the new Throws It Back. We got another new Throws It Back we got to do. We've got this Processes. We're gonna do Midsummer.
Yeah.
And we've got recording that one thing on Wednesday. The new episode, the full episode.
Yeah.
Because we have an actual script.
That's
the update. We're trying to avoid talking about the actual two movies that we had to talk about today because they weren't very interesting.
I don't have very much to say about either of them. Well, I have more to say about the context behind them than about the movies themselves, which is really kind of fun.
Yeah, I know. It's like we were just like, I was like, yeah, we should just talk about them both because there's not much to talk about with either, but there's a lot of stuff to talk about regarding them. There just isn't much to talk about seeing them.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
And so first, and the reason we're pairing them up because they're both
this is
killer
our
doll
small
movies.
soldier special.
Although we did not go see Annabelle Come Home yet, which...
no. That would have been a good part of the triumvirate, I think.
Honestly, my controversial opinion is that the second Annabelle movie, really good. First one, fucking... one of the worst fucking horror movies I've seen.
Okay.
It's so boring and bad. And, like... Spoiler alerts for Annabelle 1, it ends with a black woman committing suicide in order to save a boring white family.
That's so whack.
No, it's weird because like her value of it is she's like, well, my kid's dead, so therefore I just don't have anything left in my life. But it's not like her kid died in the movie. Like she just doesn't have a child at the start of the film, and she's like, yeah, my son died. It's a whack movie. It fucking is boring. The formula for Conjuring movies to be good is you need like a house full of kids being terrorized, and that's what makes the other ones good.
Yeah. Sure.
So anyway, I'm excited for Annabelle Comes Home because I assume just a shitload of kids getting terrorized.
Okay. Yeah, sounds promising.
Speaking of kids being terrorized, Child's Play 2019, Stranger Things, the movie.
Listen, are you ready for kids to say fuck in every horror movie?
Are you ready?
Till the end of time.
Can you deal with kids acting as if they are an 80s like retrospect, but it's not the 80s, so it's kind of weird, but they're written like they're kids from the It movie or the Stranger Things movie, but in the 2000s.
I think it's something that I would have really loved as a teenager because like as a teenager my reaction to things like that was always like, fuck yeah, kids do cuss.
Yeah.
And say fuck words.
Kids think it's funny when the doll does a humping motion.
Yeah, the doll dabs and smokes and says 420.
Does the doll dab in the movie? I'm trying to remember if that actually happens. I don't think there's any dabbing.
The doll does something. It's something that's like similar. It's like spiritually similar to flossing. There's also a part where
he like kills a person. He's like, look, Andy, what I did, and he just starts flossing on top of the body.
Well, there is literally a part in the movie where he says, "This is for Tupac," and he kills somebody.
Oh yeah.
And it's really tasteless and bullshit. Zoomer humor, I guess I'll call it.
Zoomers be like, Andy, Andy, you don't like me killing people? Oh, that's kind of cringe, bro.
You're gonna lose subscriber if you don't let me kill your parents.
Andy, I killed your stepdad and you got upset. You're gonna lose subscriber.
Don't lose subscriber, Andy. Mark Hamill's really good, by the way.
Mark Hamill. So Mark Hamill's no Brad Dourif, I believe, is the popular opinion. But I will say, if this was just not a Chucky movie, it would have been a fine turn.
Yeah.
That's like the weirdest thing about this film is that it really didn't need to be a Chucky movie, and I feel like it hampered itself by trying to be a Chucky movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is the fundamental flaw of the film, is that what it definitely is trying to do, as much as the original Child's Play was about like creepy 80s like dolls, like doll crazes. Like I was reading up on it, like that's what the original director was like. He was like, yeah, he was inspired by like the Cabbage Patch craze and like marketing, and how marketing like brainwashes kids into wanting just the ugliest fucking dolls.
The most horrible thing.
Just the most disgusting little doll creatures. And so he made a horror movie out of it. And this one is definitely supposed to be like smart Alexa, Bluetooth, everything in your home is made by the same company.
Yeah.
But it's packaged in like a child-sized doll for some reason that has like an actual kill switch that can be engaged.
Oh my god.
And it's like, okay, if they had just been like, here's a movie about I don't know, some sort of like Alexa goes crazy. It probably still would have been stupid as shit.
Yeah.
But at the very least, it wouldn't have been hampered by like, we have to make the main villain a doll.
Yeah.
An animatronic doll. Which is make it Five Nights at Freddy at that point.
Yeah, and it was almost kind of hinting towards, like, there was, like, the Teddy doll, which I thought was, like, very Freddy Fazbear.
Yeah.
And, like, it hinted toward kind of, like, a way more interesting use of the technology that was being kind of parodied, but it, like, also...
The planned obsolescence thing that they have, where, like, oh, Buddy 2 is coming. Yeah. So, like, nobody wants the original Buddy. Like, there's a lot of, like... things that they were suggesting would have been touched upon, and then they're just not.
Yeah.
Like, you have, the whole, like, at the start of the film, they're like, Buddy interacts with your entire house, and you're like, aha, this is going to be some interesting kills. And then it's like, he doesn't use that technology, like, at all.
Yeah, or he uses it in really, like, Home Alone, Dumb and Dumber bullshit ways.
Yeah.
That are, like, not really satisfying or interesting. There's, like, the only real time is when he kills that, like, pervert character.
Yeah, and he makes the pipe really hot.
Uh-huh.
Which doesn't really seem like he needed to be Bluetooth enabled for. I guess is the part where he's, like, teasing Andy and, like, appears on the TV screen. That scene was kind of cool. But also weird because he, like, connects to a car toy at some point.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's the mall, like, the shopping center scene, I guess, technically. But that's it. And like,
there's a bunch of shit they do with drones also that was really fucking goofy.
God, that scene is so weird.
But he flies drones into people and the little helicopter blades of the drones.
Because he like attached razor blades or something to them.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, they don't show him doing it. It's just when they lift up, there's like razor blades on them, but it's shitty CGI, so it's hard to tell. Yeah, it's not is the problem. Yeah, like I felt like one of the opening like commercial for like the Buddy product, and then it smash cuts to a warehouse where like people who probably aren't being paid like pennies on the dollar are making it. I was like, oh, okay, this film is like actually not just we're gonna make a shitty remake, we're gonna make a shitty remake and we're gonna like update the idea and we're gonna have some interesting concepts in it, and then they just don't.
Yeah.
They're just fucking like, just kidding. He kills his stepdad and then puts his face on a watermelon, and then you have to deal with some fucking sitcom ass hijinks for like 20 minutes while he's like, how am I gonna get it out of my house? I gave it to the neighbor. Laugh track.
Yeah.
What's the name? Penny, you slut. The character. It's just big bang ass shit.
It is. Yeah. It's really uninteresting and it's really bumbling.
I thought Aubrey Plaza's turn was okay though. I just want to see Aubrey Plaza in a good horror movie now. Yeah, honestly, is what it comes down to.
I think she absolutely has the capacity to be like a really good scream queen. The director of this movie like did not know how to really direct her. I believe her. I fully believe her as a mom character. In the grander context of like mom characters, but I also don't think that she was like, I don't know. I think that they were going for like a Winona Ryder Stranger Things kind of thing, but that's not really the angle I would have gone for, I guess.
Yeah, no, like she definitely she brings the mom energy to the role, but they definitely are trying to frame her as like a cool young mom.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I think she actually works pretty well. It's just like just a very cynical, kind of like snarky mom.
Yeah.
Like that is a type of mom who exists, and she definitely does it, but the movie definitely doesn't really like, because then like her kind of character doesn't really make sense why she's dating the shitty stepdad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
oh yeah, no.
like that type of mom. Like, yeah, she would date a shit bag, but it wouldn't be that kind of shit bag. It'd be like a dude with a bunch of tattoos who smokes inside.
Yeah, that's true. And God, to give you kind of an idea, like, I don't really know even what to say about Child's Play. It's really soulless.
Yeah.
And it's just really boring. There's a scene where the stepdad, like, charges into the room to, like, yell at the kid. And he's just like, listen, you don't listen to me and you don't respect me. And something, blah, blah. And then he just leaves. And then the kid, like flops over dramatically and shoves his face into his pillow. And he's just like, I hate him so much. Oh, I hate him. I wish he should go away forever. Oh, and like has this meltdown. And is like, what the fuck? Like, you couldn't show, like, you wanted to just have a scene of abuse happening, but you just didn't want to write or show abuse happening. Like, make up your mind on what movie.
Yeah, on what the fuck is going on here. Like, like not that the guy isn't like a shitty dick, but it's like, yeah, it's treated as if like he just like came in and like hit the kid. And like even later when she's like, don't reprimand my child. Yeah. It's like he just like yelled at your kid because he thinks the kid tricked him into pissing his pants. Like, what the fuck are you up? Like, what the fuck is going on here in this movie?
Yeah.
And then like the two dipshit friends.
Oh, I hated
who just
them.
They're so underwritten. Yeah. They literally they're like fucking Weekenders walk-ons.
Oh yeah, definitely. They're. Yeah, no, it's just a retro. They just retrofitted an old franchise over the like Stranger Things framework, against the wishes of the original creator, which is another thing. Which
is part of the context we wanted to talk about.
Yes.
So if you don't know, literally everybody involved in like the original Child's Play series pissed off at this movie.
Yeah.
They were not consulted. They were not asked. Literally, they just like, because I was reading up on it, it's a different studio owns the rights to the first Child's Play. So this is bonkers. This is just a remake of just the first Child's Play, to an extent that the script had to be changed a few times, because if they had anything that referenced or too closely mimicked things that happen in the later sequels, they opened themselves up to a lawsuit. Because it's just the first one that they have a right to make, which implies that even if this was successful, they couldn't make a sequel.
There's a lot of different vectors. There's the thing, Don Mancini, the original director, writer. Well, we were actually like, while we were researching this, I came across a tweet that he made of like Mariah Carey holding up a sign that said, I don't know her. And it was just like, this is all I have to say about the subject. Which is very funny. But yeah, like the original Child's Play franchise is, it turns out really steeped in a lot of like gay context, and has like, Don Mancini is like one of the few like openly gay horror screenwriters.
Yeah, and a lot of writing on like queer horror, like kind of the two things that always get cited like reflexively is Nightmare on Elm Street 2, because that's like, and that's actually been recently confirmed. Like some of the original, I think, writers or director or somebody on it like confirmed that like, yeah, we couldn't really say it for a long time, but no, it's supposed to be very overtly gay. And the Child's Play series, and not less so the first one, but it's like as the series goes on, they make it campier more and more intentionally, and the director leaned into the idea of Chucky as a campy figure, because he's just like a foul-mouthed, brash serial killer who knows occult magic, and then he gets Jennifer Tilly like trapped in the body of a doll, and it's like, it's canonically is Jennifer Tilly. Like, it's not like, oh wait, no, sorry. she voices the doll, and then later in the series, she possesses Jennifer Tilly.
I really have to watch these movies.
No,
it feels like such an oversight.
It's been so... I've only seen the first Child's Play, and then growing up in high school, I watched Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky. Okay. And those two are extreme... They are just flat-out horror comedies. But yeah, no, Bride of Chucky is like literally like... she's voiced by Jennifer Tilly, and later in the series, she possesses the actress Jennifer Tilly.
That's fucking hilarious. I love that.
Yeah, it's a really fun series, and like that's the reason why they were pissed is because it's not like they don't make the series anymore. Like they're still making them. They had a new one, Cult of Chucky, came out like a year, maybe 2 years ago, and that was like a Netflix one. But it was still like it's been the same like people involved with making the movies from the get go.
Yeah.
And they were just like, we're gonna make the first one because legally we can.
Okay. Christ.
I was also talking to you about this. It's also interesting because, like, the first one, it's not that it ages badly. It's that throughout a good chunk of the film, it's supposed to be ambiguous whether or not...
Yeah, that was really interesting.
Whether or not the child is doing it. Because when the film is introduced, Andy is 8. He's 8 years old. And... Chucky is basically sort of like a my buddy kind of like doll. So it's like a child-sized doll. So he and Andy are the same height, and they dress the same. Like Andy likes is really obsessed with it. So he also wears like coveralls and like a striped shirt. And so throughout the film, because you only see like the killer like moving quickly and like out of the corner of your eye, it's heavily implied that Andy is the one killing people and that Andy is like blaming the doll because like he's like crazy. And it's not until either halfway or about 3/4 of the way through the film when the mother like has like the doll and it like talks and she's like annoyed by it. So she takes it and she flips it over and goes to take out the batteries, and she opens it and no batteries have ever been put in it. And she goes, "What the fuck?" and turns it around. And then suddenly it turns into Brad Dourif Chucky, where it's like, "You son of a bitch!" and like tries to kill her like right then and there.
Wow.
And it's a really good, well executed scene, but it's definitely something where it's like it doesn't work as well when like Chucky is so inundated in our culture that we it's kind of like watching the first Friday the 13th and knowing that it's not Jason, it's his mother.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've always known that it was the toy, like since. Like, I never got a chance to, like, see the movie and have that, like, arc of discovery or whatever. But hearing that, I actually was surprised, and that sounds really interesting.
It is a very well-made movie. It definitely holds up. It holds up, like, if you're not the kind of person who's like, why is this 80s horror movie such an 80s horror movie? Like, if you go in knowing that it's an 80s horror film, it holds up really well. I liked it a lot. And then the rest just... intentionally campy and goofy. There's a reason why like he's on the cover of Thunderdome albums.
Yeah. God. Yeah. So in conclusion, they shouldn't have fucking made the new one.
They should have
really
just. It's the constant theme of remakes now, where it's like, what if you just told a story that you very clearly wanted to tell, and didn't like fucking hamstring you? Like, instead of doing remakes, just steal ideas.
Do what everybody else does.
Just do what everyone else, like, there's so many remakes I see where I'm like, oh, if you just like stole this idea and like, so I saw a trailer recently for a new Jacob's Ladder remake.
Oh my god.
Which is bizarre.
That's crazy.
But I was just like, just steal the idea, because I don't feel like the horror of it quite translates as well with like modern relationships to veterans. Yeah. So if you're going to be changing your movie substantially to acknowledge the new context of how we view veterans and how we view war, then just steal the movie idea and make a different movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Like no one's gonna dock you points for Katamariing ideas together. And in fact, I think it's a much healthier creative practice.
I think, yeah, like, because I think the impulse of, like, what would this sort of idea and theme look like in modern filmmaking and modern, like, modern times, I think that's a really good jumping off point to make your own art.
Yeah.
You don't have to be like, but I want the characters. But if you're going to remake it, just go fucking bonkers with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Just accept and acknowledge that there's a really different context for every element of the story.
Because we were talking about this with Kate on the Blair Witch episode.
Yes.
With like the bad Blair Witch remake, where it's like, just rip off the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah.
Like, you can just do that. Like, it's fine. I'd rather, or if you're going to remake it into like fucking some absurd, bizarre film that completely out of left field.
Yeah, which like Wreck is kind of that. For Blair Witch, and I love Wreck. Like, Wreck is a fun ass film.
Wreck is really good. Man, I want to rewatch Wreck. Remember when they remade it into Quarantine?
No. But put that one out of my brain. I actually watched Quarantine. It's a piece of shit.
Yeah, no, I watched Quarantine and it was really bad, and I was like, wow, that really sucked. And then I found out that it was a remake, and I went and watched the original, and I was like, I really wish I didn't waste my time watching Quarantine.
Yeah, Wreck is great. And Child's Play is not.
Child's Play is not. Child's Play.
Sorry, Brian Tyree Henry, I love you.
If there were a lot of really good, if there were not like probably better horror films out right now, I'd say, yeah, if you really want to go see a horror movie, go watch it.
Yeah.
There are. There are other horror films out right now.
Yeah. Just watch the trailer for It Chapter 2.
Yeah.
It's a more scary experience.
I am sincerely excited for that. Hey, It producers, you fucked up with this Child's Play one.
Yeah.
But I will go see Stranger Things Meets the Clown or whatever the fucking new one is.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. I guess I'm excited.
But are you excited to talk about our next film?
Well, I am. But I guess what would you rather have spent your ticket price on?
Oh yeah, this bit. God, what would I have rather have spent my ticket price? Like, I bet you could probably find, like, for really cheap, like a Blu-ray run or, like, maybe even a DVD run of, like, the original Child's Play series.
Oh, yeah.
I'd pick that up, because they're like, most of them aren't on streaming, so, like, it's hard to find them without stealing them.
Yeah, I absolutely would have rather spent my money on that, like, at a Goodwill or something like that. I wouldn't rather have spent my money on, like, a secondhand Goodwill broken drone.
Yeah, I was gonna say a doll. I actually, part of the reasons why I really liked the original, I haven't seen most of the original Child's Plays. Mm-hmm. Dolls are creepy, dude.
Yeah.
Dolls are actually fucking creepy.
They're pretty creepy. I mean, even you know, no one likes to see a face in the dark.
Yeah.
Of a creepy still
baby.
Yeah.
With one eye, like, stuck.
Yeah. Dolls do suck.
Yeah.
They're bad. Speaking of which.
So there was a poster, so the Child's Play remake, social media team, they've been a little cheeky lately.
Uh-huh.
They just put out a new poster on their Twitter where it's like, Chucky's already home. And it's like he killed Annabelle from the movie poster for the new Annabelle movie. But before that, they did ones where it's like, there's a new sheriff in town, and it's like Chucky walking away from like a bloody and fluffy dead cowboy, much like Toy Story 4. That's right.
Shit.
Chucky clapped back. Epic. Epic fucking own on the $1 billion movie franchise series that has too many fucking toys in it. There's so many fucking toys in this movie.
Too many goddamn characters.
You know who has like 2 lines of dialogue?
Jessie.
What the fuck? There's too many characters. She doesn't get the chance to. She literally is not a character in this movie. She could just be so written out.
Oh my god. She was literally. I liked her so much when I saw the second one as a kid. And
she's a real. I still stand that she's a pretty well written character in the second movie.
I think so too.
Because like the first one is just like, you are a toy. What does it mean to be a toy? And then the second one is like, abandonment issue. Anybody here got abandonment issues?
And then the third one was, will we accept death or?
That is like the perfect way to summarize Toy Story 4, is that in the third movie, they accepted death. And now here's the fourth one.
And now the fourth.
And now Tim Allen's midlife crisis where he fucks his hot Bo Peep wife.
Oh my god. So yes, Bo Peep is now a sexy van lifer.
It is the audacity of the Bo Peep rebuild. So obviously baiting.
Yeah.
And we're just taking the bait.
It's very she's very
she's got
very
short hair now.
Yeah.
She's got a cool outfit. She's Ariel wearing a shirt that says like nap time please.
Oh my god.
Or, like it's that shit that Disney's been doing.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah, all of the shirts at the street fair with like the Tennessee whiskey crop top being worn by the fucking girl from Aladdin or whatever.
Oh my god. Just fucking punk edit of Bo Peep as a main character in this film.
I mean, you know, and she has that cool like raccoon car.
I did like the raccoon car. I thought that was cute. I thought it was here's my biggest problem was when they introduced her lesbian girlfriend. The fact that I knew they were going to immediately be like, they're not gay, it's fine.
I didn't read it that way. They had a best friend vibe.
All right.
Listen, not different strokes for different folks, different interpretations for different friend.
All interpretations are valid.
That's very true. But yeah, that was a character. There's too many characters.
Too many fucking characters. So, going down the list, main characters in this film.
Yes.
Woody. Buzz. The doll that Bonnie owns.
Yes.
And these are just toys. These aren't like the many adults who are in this film. There are at least 4 different kids. Because there's Andy's sister, Bonnie, the little girl in the antique shop. Bonnie's family, the little old woman who runs the antique shop. These are humans. Yeah. Toys. We have Andy, Buzz, Bonnie's doll, Rex, Slinky Dog.
Yeah.
I think the pig talks. Mr. Potato Head is kind of plot relevant. Bonnie's... she has like a dinosaur toy or something that like wants to get the dad arrested.
Does Mrs. Potato Head say anything?
No, I think they just use her ear.
Okay.
Or her eyes or something.
Okay.
Jesse.
Yeah.
Key and Peele.
Key and Peele are here.
As 1 and 2 characters at the same time.
Kristen Shaw has 1 line.
Wait, which one was Kristen Shaw?
She was the Triceratops.
Is that the one who wants the dad to get arrested? No, that's a different one. So there's another one. Who else do we have in this?
Keanu Reeves is a main character as the stuntman toy.
Oh, Evel Knievel toy.
Yeah.
Bo Peep's tiny cop friend.
And then you have the doll in the antique store.
The doll in the antique store and her doll sidekicks.
Yes, multiple of which.
Multiple of them. Are there any other? I feel like there's maybe 1 or 2. There's too many fucking toys in this movie.
It's so fucking bloated. Like,
imagine if they cut Key and Peele.
Hey, you know?
Like, Key and Peele literally are just in the film. And Sporky. Or Forky.
Forky, yes, that's right.
Sorry, the one that they pushed really heavily in the advertising, I forgot. Because he's basically a MacGuffin.
God, what a fucking...
There's so many fucking toys.
What a disaster.
Key and Peele, I love them. They add nothing to this movie.
There is absolutely no...
They are 100% there because they're like, we need our sassy character quota.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't write any characters to be sassy.
Yeah.
And it's so bloated because like I feel like the sort of one of the thorough lines, which is the one antique doll with the fucked up voice box, who thinks that if she has a good voice box, the little girl will love her, and then she's just like, I don't care, I don't like dolls.
Yeah.
That alone could have been an interesting plot line. Like, what do you do when you think that you are fundamentally broken? That is an acceptable continuation of these themes. You know, the new generation doesn't care about death. They care about who will hold them as they go as they go into that sweet night. But her plotline is just like, I don't have a voice box that works. 50 scenes of bullshit featuring other characters. I'm manipulating Sporky. 50 scenes of bullshit involving other characters. Woody, you don't understand. Woody, actually, I do understand. Here's a dumb crying child for you to be friends with.
I just, like, it really has the same problem. Like, I feel like Disney movies have ADHD or something. Like, they don't really know what they want to say, and then they kind of, like, fall off of the track of what they were, like, building up to. Like, there's this whole shit with, like, Forky having, like, an existential crisis and just, like, being like, I'm trash. And then, like, kind of just being like, oh, okay, I'm toy, actually.
I am given value by greater beings than myself.
Yeah.
Forky confirmed for fascism.
And then it just kind of falls into this narrative about this like doll in an antique store, but then there's also this narrative about like this like lifestyle of being out on the road and out on yourself and like
and Woody retiring because Bonnie doesn't give two shits about him.
Yeah.
But he has this weird paternalistic relationship to her.
Yeah, that goes like really far. And he has all these weird, like, moments of just being like, Bonnie.
It's a weird movie. It's just a movie that's all over. It's like everybody at Pixar's neurosis is put into one film.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it struggles from, okay, like, this movie also has, obviously a lot of outside context to it.
So we wanted to talk a bit about the context. Do we want to bring that up into the...
I think, well, it has to. It's the elephant in the room. John Lasseter was such a work sex pest idiot dipshit, like, casting couch rapist type, like, that he actually had official handlers at Pixar, according to Wikipedia.
Oh my god!
Who were just like who had to remind him about his urges. It says
official chastity cage key holders.
Fuck!
Just guys walking around with like tasers, and when he got too horny, they just zap his boner.
Oh my god!
The problem and the reason they had to let him go, he learned to like it.
Wow, that's basically what happened. Yes,
It's unreal how often like you hear about Hollywood sex pest types, because like I think that like the Hollywood sex pest thing like kind of distracts from the fact that there are larger issues of sexual harassment in like all workforces.
Absolutely.
But I think the reason people are obsessed with the Hollywood ones is not just because it involves rich and famous people, but because they are fucking cartoon characters about it. Like it's never like, you know, like it's never the experience that like a lot of people have had or know people who've had, rather, at least, where it's like I had a boss who was like way too forward, or I had like a coworker who was in a position of power over me who like kind of leaned on that to ask me out on a date. It's always like it's always like Louis C.K. level, like he cornered me after a show and was like, watch me jerk off.
Yeah.
Like shit that's just completely like, what? Why?
Yeah.
Like, why did you even remotely think that that's a normal human behavior?
The literal most brainworms shit. It is so annoying. And yeah, John Lasseter can suck my ass. And so they basically, like, hired somebody. They hired a couple people to, like, rewrite the script. They apparently rewrote, like,
So did he actually work on the
3/4.
script before he was out? While you're looking this up, I do want to point out I'm still infuriated that the cover of Toy Story 4 features Key and Peele doing this like sassy posture when their hands are sewn together in the movie, and they just said, fuck it. Fuck it, they're not sewn together on the poster.
Fuck it.
Also, why does Sporky have a spoon and a fork? He doesn't have that in the movie. He has like weapons. What the fuck is going on this poster?
Tim Allen
Story by John Lasseter, yeah. So he definitely worked on the original story at least.
So John Lasseter and Rashida Jones, and then they basically all were like, or the other two aside from John Lasseter were just like, fuck this. And
handed it off to the person who worked on Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, so they handed off the script to Stephanie Folsom, and allegedly also Andrew Stanton. Oh, and Andrew Stanton's been there for a while. He's
one of the guys who's worked on a lot of Pixar films.
Yeah, he's worked on like Bug's Life and stuff.
He's like the less famous of the guys who've been there forever.
Yeah. So yeah, it's him and Stephanie Folsom who we figured out. I guess allegedly had uncredited writing work done on Thor Ragnarok.
So from what I had seen, it looks like it was like this weird thing where they credited her incorrectly, like they credited her as story by.
Oh, yeah.
But story by is never the writing credit. It's the person who came up with the idea.
Right.
It's like when Channel Zero does their things. It's usually story by and whoever wrote the original creepypasta.
Yeah.
So basically, it fucked her out of getting a screenwriting credit, which is like what she needs to be in the Writers Guild.
Fucking A. Thanks, Marvel.
So then Pixar, they brought her on to fix this movie.
to fix this dog shit movie, which it's kind of sad that it didn't work. Because like it feels kind of like it's on this really rickety framework.
Did you know that there's a character in this film called Bitey White, who's voiced by Betty White? And there's a character called Cheryl Burnett, who's voiced by Carol Burnett. Hold on, is this real? I don't believe this. I'm having trouble believing this. That there's apparently a bunch of characters with names like Melephant Brooks, voiced by Mel Brooks.
What the fuck? Cheryl Burnett?
Yeah.
Bitey White.
Patricia.
Oh, wait.
Carl Reiner Rosseris, who is played by Carl Reiner. Who are these characters? Are these like real characters in the movie? Are these just like minor background? Oh, you know what? I know who characters they are. There's too many characters in the movie. Remember the old toys in the closet?
Oh, yeah.
That's who they are. They hired a bunch of forgotten old Hollywood actors and like Mel Brooks to voice.
Oh, yeah. Because I thought I heard Mel Brooks there.
I remember that now. I just thought it was probably somebody at Pixar just doing an old Jewish man voice. Like I figured it was one of their like stable of actors, and they're like voice this character, and he's just like Jewish man. Sure, I'll go with that one.
I don't think their hands are stitched together.
So that's not an official screenshot from the film.
Are you sure?
Yeah. No, these are all like pre-render images, but their hands are sewn together.
No, they're not.
Yes, that's like their whole character trope in that film. No, so that's from the teaser. That's why their hands aren't sewn together.
Okay, hold on. Me and Jay have been having this argument.
We've been having this argument about whether or not Key and Peele's hands are sewn together.
That is, by the way, how little attention I've paid to this movie. I'm also gonna
move it away from my face. Yeah, that's fair. Sorry, I was getting really aggressively close to be like, no, their hands are sewed together.
They're sewn together.
You gotta find ones that aren't from the teaser. See, there they are.
That's hard. Well, that's from when they were holding their hand.
Because they're sewn together.
They're not sewn.
Because there's like the whole bit he has where like he can't like when they think that there's been an accident and he sees the fluff.
Oh.
And then it turns out that the guy's just underneath a box that's directly next to him, and he like pulls him out while he's trying to cry. Because they're supposed to be those toys where like their hands are sewn together because they're best friends or whatever.
Oh, right. I guess.
It's weird. It's weird because it's like all the promotional material for them, their hands are not sewn together. But in the actual movie, their hands are sewn together. But they're such nothing characters.
It's like, who cares, I guess, at the end of the day. But also, I literally can't remember. Fuck this movie. Fuck you, John Lasseter. Man, Toy Story 3 fucking sucked. Fuck you guys. Everyone who's like, oh, I cried at the end of Toy Story 3. It's like, grow the fuck up. You're a baby. That's mean. That's mean of me. I shouldn't say that.
No,
I should probably back up my opinion.
It's fine. No, it's true though.
I mean, I didn't really like.
I will say, confession, I cried during Toy Story 4.
During Toy Story 4?
Yeah.
Which part?
The little lost kid with the doll. I'm real fucking. And the thing is, like, it was crying while also being mad because I was like, fuck, it's working. But because it's just, I'm a real fucking sucker for, like, shit involving upset kids.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
shit that, like,
real.
shit that involves upset kids just, like, hits me, like, really hard. And so this, like, really sad little girl, like, finding a doll and, like, that giving her enough, like, giving her something to take care of so that she can have enough, like, anxiety maintenance to go out and, like, find her parents. It's such, like, emotional, like, manipulation.
Yeah.
But it fucking worked on me. That was the only part of the movie that had any emotional resonance with me at all.
I think that's fair because I think that's kind of the nugget, like, core of the franchise. Because, like, the sell line of the Toy Story franchise is like, what if toys came to life and they, cared about kids who they played with, and they had to do all sorts of shenanigans to manage in the big old world out there to do it all for the kids or whatever. Which is not to say that, like, the kids are, like, a major part of the original movies, but they kind of were, like.
Yeah, like
gets a lot of screen
presence. Their presence is an important element to it.
Yeah.
Their lack thereof is an important element to it.
Absolutely. Whereas, like, in the third one, it had just gotten to such a point of, like definitely all of the movies are, like, really manipulative, and really kind of, like, just this really specific kind of narrative. And the third one is kind of just like, fuck all that. This is about the toys now. And it's so masturbatory. It's just like, they're important, like, growing and changing. And it's just like, well, they're toys. Like, yeah. Like, for what? For who?
Yeah. What are they growing to when their ultimate goal is to just be played with?
Yeah, exactly. Like, their life's goal hasn't really changed. They just recognize what death is now. They recognize it as a concept. I don't know how that's useful for playing with toddlers. It's kind of outside the purview of that activity, but
it's also strange because it seems to, because the thing is, do they really embrace death when in this film it then takes away the concept of death and that children bring them to life?
Yeah, it's so irrelevant.
I mean, I guess, like, if a toy is destroyed utterly in a garbage disposal, it's dead. But then Sporky can be made from trash, and Sporky is given life by just being played with. But he's so conscious of the fact that he's trash.
I just don't.
I know that we're doing the thing where we're overthinking a kids movie, but it's very much so, like, in a franchise this long, introducing new concepts like that really fucking throws a wrench in the works.
And that's the thing. Like, my issue is that, like, this is not really the stage for John Lasseter's existential bullshit. Not because you can't do that in a kids movie. I think there are tasteful ways to go about that. But, like, I just don't really.
Is this the franchise to do it in?
Yeah, exactly. Like, and these characters really aren't that deep, and I don't really need to. I don't know. Like, I'm not everybody. I'm not every American. I don't feel like I need to spend that much time with these characters.
It's really weird in this film how that ends up leading to things like Buzz Lightyear being a dumbass, being like a himbo.
Yeah.
When, like, the first movie...
He feels like such a different character.
Like, the first movie is literally about him finding a sense of identity through religion. Is about an alcoholic man finding purpose with his life.
Oh my God.
And then in this movie, he's just a himbo who doesn't understand the concept of a conscious.
Yeah.
Who literally does not have consciousness.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Woody's like, what's my life if I'm not fucking or making a kid happy?
And he chooses fucking at the end.
He chooses fucking. Good for Woody. I'm glad they went with that ending because it means they can't make any more movies.
They better fucking not.
I mean, they'll probably try to, but
they'll
it's going to be garbage.
Yeah.
Remember when they just wrote Bo Peep out of like the third movie?
Yeah, I do remember.
They just fucking wrote her out, and then they're like, no, that wasn't because we realized that we introduced 2 potential love interests for Woody. No, it was because we were setting up her arc in the new movie.
Okay, can we talk about that? So like Jesse's whole thing is you were talking to me about this before. Jesse's whole thing is like abandonment issues.
Yeah.
Jesse gets abandoned in this movie.
Twice.
Yeah.
She gets repeatedly... So, like, in the second movie, her whole thing is abandonment issues. And then in the third movie, all of the toys are abandoned by Andy.
Yeah.
And then in the fourth movie, Woody abandons her.
Yeah. So, basically, all of her worst fears came true, and she's just kind of...
In, like, multiple senses.
Yeah. And
she can't even trust other toys.
Yeah. And we don't get any, like, time with her for that. Oh, my God. That's literally the next one, isn't it?
Literally... what her emotional once her emotional issues were resolved in the second movie, fuck it, who cares what she thinks? We don't pay her to think.
We don't pay her voice actor to say what she's thinking.
It's like I said, no, it's really depressing because it's like I really liked her emotional exploration in the second movie.
Yeah.
And then she's just increasingly fucking backgrounded. Mm-hmm. Now she's just replacement Woody. Like, now she's actually positioned as, like, oppositional to Woody in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, there's this whole, like, their dynamic kind of just changes to this, like, mentorship thing. And it
sucks.
It sucks. There's no breathing room in this movie for really any concept to grow.
Too many plots, too many ideas, too many fucking characters.
Too many fucking
Pick at least 2 plots.
Yeah.
Just 2. You can just pick 2 plots. Why is Forky there? Well, that's how they get to the antique shop so that they can have the storyline of the doll. But in order to resolve the storyline of the doll, we need 4 more storylines.
Fuck my life.
Just Bonnie goes on vacation to the park and Woody sees Bo Peep's thing in the window.
Yeah.
Forky, completely unnecessary character.
Disney probably has a lot of writers' meetings. And they probably have a lot of things that they get really attached to.
I mean, I could definitely see they're like, Forky's like a fun, quirky character who will appeal to millennials because he's trash. And then people can post GIFs of him going, I'm trash. And people be like, I love that movie. I'm going to go buy it on Blu-ray.
I'm gonna go support the Disney Corporation.
Because I grew up with these characters and I care about them. And that's why I like the one that's trash that was invented for this film and has maybe 10 minutes of screen time.
Mm-hmm. Fuck Disney.
Fuck Disney. Fuck Pixar. Fuck John Lasseter. Fuck Tim Allen.
Yeah. Hey, fuck you, snitch.
Yeah.
We know what you did. Fucking piece of shit. Everyone involved in this movie is a piece of shit.
Tim the Tool Man Taylor. But he's with that tool.
Tim with that tool, man.
I think that I'm Tom Cruise.
I think that I'm Tom Hanks.
Hey, I will say this. Tom Hanks' turn as his himbo Buzz Lightyear, not bad.
Yeah,
the
performances are fine. It's Pixar.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I mean, okay, the performances are fine. I think the other reason why Key and Peele are weird in this movie is that they feel like they're written. It feels like other people tried to write Key and Peele improv.
They were playing their Mad TV characters. Of those the dudes on Jeopardy. It was those guys, but in Toy Story.
Yeah, and so it was just really, really weird. Because like when I found out it was Key and Peele, I was like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah. But I was like, I would not have. When I was watching it, I wouldn't have been like, oh, that's Key and Peele. I was just like, who are these characters who are clearly supposed to be Key and Peele types?
Yeah, it felt pretty gratuitous, and not very lived in.
The one line that I did like with them was the bit where they're like, all right, like when for like 5 minutes in the film, they think that like they're gonna join Bonnie's team, and they're like, he's like, which one do you think Bonnie will like more? Say me. And then he's like, no, say me. And he's like, no, say me. Like that bit is really funny of just like, which one do you think she's gonna like more, say me? Like no pauses in his sentence, just like say me.
Say me. Just say me. Just, no, it's easy. Just say me.
Just say me. So no, it's gonna be like that bit was cute. And then like any other time they're on screen, it was just like, oh, I gotta kill a couple minutes screen time, huh?
Yeah, not enough characters.
Yeah, I don't know.
Gotta have more.
Oh, then there's like the 3 army men in the sandbox scene.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many characters in this movie.
Fucking A.
I can't wait to buy toys of all of them.
Do you happen to recall what the after credits scene was? Because I
No, I think I left. I think as soon as that movie ended, I fucking booked it.
Okay. The after credit scene is actually you remember the part in the movie, the singular bit in the movie where there's a character who
keeps trying to get a high five.
Keeps trying to do the high five.
Yeah.
At the end of the movie, it's the Pixar Studios logo, but instead of the lamp jumping in, it's the Evel Knievel character who like ramps onto the eye and like breaks it and goes, haha, oh yeah, and he looks at the camera, and then that little army man comes up from the side of the screen with his arm up, and then Keanu Reeves' character holds his arm up and they high five and it's over. Aren't you glad I told you that story? I'm
glad his emotional arc ended because no one else is in this fucking movie.
Yeah. It was...
What was Bo Peep's motivation?
Not be owned by a kid.
So instead, she's owned by a man. Good night, everybody.
Yeah. God.
I was so pissed when that whole thing started. And I was like, they're going to end up having them get back together. And that's such a reversal of like what her character arc is currently suggesting.
Yeah.
What a stupid movie.
Fucking dumb movie.
All right, well,
the ship. Throw Woody in the trash.
Yeah.
Woody should have burned. They all should have died at the end of the third one. That's how the third one should have fucking ended.
Remember when, like, before the third movie came out, there were fake spoilers that Woody dies, and then that scene came up, and people would laugh at it, and then that scene came up, and everyone was like, oh, fuck. Oh, fuck, those spoilers weren't fake. And then, unfortunately, they were.
Yeah. I bet Disney leaked those fake spoilers.
God, you're right. That's probably why people had an emotional response to that fucking bullshit scene.
I feel like Disney is dissolving our freedoms one by one.
Yeah.
And
Marvel. They bought Marvel.
They bought Marvel, and they're slowly replacing the government, and they're slowly taking away any and all civil liberties and any freedom of expression on social medias. And
you can only criticize them enough that they can put it in their movie.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't wait until the new Wreck-It Ralph comes out and there's a scene where Mulan just says everything we're saying right now. And then a character goes like, yeah, but I like stuff. And then it's like, ah ha ha, we acknowledge it so we don't have to change it. Ha 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 ha.
I can't wait for that. In conclusion, rather than the ticket price, I would rather spend it on a fucking gun to shoot myself.
I would have rather spent it on buying the inevitable dojins of Butch Daddy Bo Peep that are gonna come out. What are you glad you didn't spend your ticket price on?
I mean, it was better than 3.
So I was gonna say they did take it off of all streaming platforms. So if I had been one of those idiots who was tricked into buying one of the trilogy box sets, I would have regretted that more than seeing this.
Oh, did they?
Because then I would have seen shit that I wouldn't have. I've already seen.
Did they take Toy Story 3 down off of everything?
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, it's probably back now, but they took it off to get people to pay for it before watching the new one.
That's so funny.
That's Disney, baby.
That's Disney, baby. You guys love Disney. Y'all love Disney, right? Sorry, I sound like a leftist shithead, but...
No, I mean, you are.
I mean,
but also it's true.
Yeah.
So I gotta piss. So let's wrap this up.
All right.
Bye.
Well, bye. Jay's got her rock piss. We'll see you later. We're gonna see you later this month with
Midsummer.
Midsummer,
and then hopefully soonish a new episode.
And we love you all very much.
Bye.
Bye.